Um, I'm just wondering with these lines, I can't afford you, I don't want you, I don't need you, you're selling me a dream. Is he talking about Amazon Prime? I don't know. Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Audiophiles, you bugger. My name's John. His name is Andy. I live uptown. I live downtown. I live all around. I had money and I had none. I had money and I had none. But I'd never been so broke that I couldn't leave town. More on that later. But first, Andy, what have you got in store for us today?
Today I've got a very new band, a very young band, one that has yet to truly make its mark, I think, on on the music industry. But they are, to me, they do have an interesting sound and one that I like hearing. They are called the Jump Cuts, and the track by them that I'd like to have you check out is a track called Fangs. So I believe this is the video from the band themselves. Luckily, they are generous enough to allow us to share it on YouTube without any sort of litigation or threat thereof. So please go off and give the Jump Cuts and their song Fangs a listen and come back and let me know what you think.
Well done. Be behind a garage door. A garage band. I wouldn't have believed it.
It's been 2 long years since I've been seen. Now you're telling me you gotta make it up. Shame on you for never coming back. Could it be that I don't wanna be a part of it? Could you?
Okay. I don't know what's going on here, but that looks decidedly odd with him standing and them all sitting down. Get your feet off the table, son. So it starts nicely. Yeah, it's got that garagey feel to it. And Mr. Lead singer, bass, and drummer are all hitting on the same beat. So it gives it a nice sort of stompy, almost percussive feel to it. Meanwhile, second guitarist, whatever, is doing na 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 na. I don't know if it's an emergency vehicle or a really bad ice cream van, but so it sort of gives it that sort of sing-song element to that very short verse. But yeah, it all sounds good. He's got that sort of painted Casablanca's filter on his vocals, so yeah, it sounds like that. But yeah, all good so far. And they've just changed it up to this bit here. We start singing "Could It Be." I don't know if this is the chorus. Actually, I've waffled enough. Let's go back a little bit.
It's been 2 long years since I've been seen. Now you're telling me you gotta make it up. Shame on you for never coming back. Could it be that I don't wanna be a part of it? Could you see that it's not must be that I grew out of it? My brother, how you been? I can tell by
So that's definitely the chorus. Um, yeah, interesting. That verse bit is very short, it's only a couple of lines, but I like I guess he's the lead guitarist. He did a last bit of noodling in between the first chorus and the second verse. I also like the way he's either bending down or hunched up. I wonder if he's got dodgy guts. But he's brave, but he's struggling through. We'll see. Dave noodling. Same notes.
If I left you, what would you do? You don't care.
Oh, this is prime Strokes, and it really is. So there's a bit where it says here, "You're just selling me a dream," and I think there's a bit of auto tuning in there. That's sounding. I was thinking that sounds quite Strokes like, doesn't it? It's all very basic. The beat, the drummer, the bass, and everything, but it's sounding nice. It's a good, solid sort of proposition. And again, going to this, we just isolates just the guitar going. To emphasize this, he's dropped his turquoise Fender, whatever the hell it is, Andy will know, on the ground, just to emphasize that, which is quite funny. Let's just go back a wee bit, because I want to see that and hear that again.
I can't afford you. I don't want you.
It's a touch of auto tuning.
I need you. You're just selling me a dream. What if I left you?
Down it goes.
What would you do? You don't care. You just move on.
Oh, knob twiddling.
Like I was never there. Oh, keep me around. Don't you love to hear me say those songs about you and your crazy hair that I can't keep my fingers out of? What if I left you? Oh, babe, I won't do anything to break your cool.
Yeah, that was all right. I enjoyed that. I mean, it was pretty straightforward, and nothing new at all. But it's a sound I've heard before, but it's a sound that I enjoy. And this was, you can add it to the collection of stuff that I like that sounds like this. Yeah. Interesting. I think I get the vibes they're a new band. We'll have to find out a bit more about them. Let's go back and chop it up with Andy.
All right. Well, you are back. What do you have to say, John, about Fangs by the Jump Cuts?
Well, the jump cuts. You may be aware that jump cuts is an editing technique in film made popular by Nouvelle Vague directors such as Jean-Luc Godard. So I was really looking forward to this, but no, not a Frenchman in sight. Well, I guess Fangs ain't what they used to be. Anyway, to the song. We get this slow, clattering rise of a garage door. What could it be behind there? Literally, a garage band. Who could have foreseen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, very funny and on the money sort of Yeah. Um, literal sort of beginning, which is quite funny. And it's nice to see a couple of the members of the band participating in Movember as well. Lovely stuff. Um, so the song begins with a nice stompy but steady beat. The singer has, we've discussed this so many times. I want to call it different things, but the singer has that Casablanca slight affected filter in his voice. So we get this instant garage sound and faux retro vibe all in one neat little package. Sounds great, as it always does. Um, the bass, the rhythm, and the guitar and drums are all striking on the same beat. So it gives the verse, that first bit, this real percussive drive,
Mhm.
which is really nice. The second guitar, which I think is lead, um, is busy giving it the na-nas, and I'm not sure yet whether it's an emergency vehicle or a high-speeding ice cream van. Could be either. But he's doing that. And then we get to, I believe, is the chorus. We get, could it be that? I don't want to be a part of it, I think. Unfortunately, at this point, the lead guitar is bent over double with some malaise, spastic colon, perhaps, or maybe just trapped wind, as he soon manages to right himself. Anyway, the nanas have now evolved into da 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 da, and it just sounds really pleasing. And in the chorus, I get the odd snatch of a line. I can tell by your teeth you're clenching. Is the singer talking about the lead guitarist? I don't know. Those nightmares still happen, and then we get a really nice and pleasing sort of three-note run down,
Yeah.
which is obviously pleasing to the ear, but also a really clear signpost. We're heading into another section. The lead guitar guy then does some very pretty noodling. It's not really a solo per se. It's just a sort of a noodle bit before we go into the next section. It sounds lovely. We're back into a stompy verse again with that sort of rhythmic drive. But it only seems to last, I don't know, it's either two long lines or four medium sized lines. And then we're straight back into the chorus with Could It Be again. We recycle through the chorus and then we get the same, and I think it's almost note for note, the same post clench noodling from the lead guitarist, which is pleasing again second time round. And then once more into the bridge, dear friends. Um, and he says something here, and I did catch something that was quite clear. I can't afford you, but I don't want you, don't need you. And so you're just selling me the dream. And through these bits, we get touches, particularly on the last line, selling the dream of auto tune, sort of slightly warbling the
Yeah.
vocals on it. But it's just a touch. It's not,
It's not. Yeah.
share, I believe, it's just a touch, which is odd, but, not completely just unsettling. Um, I'm just wondering with these lines, I can't afford you, I don't want you, I don't need you, you're selling me a dream. Is he talking about Amazon Prime? I don't know. Anyway, we get through this section. We've got what smatterings are already, and I've mentioned it, but we're starting to get a real Strokes vibe. And then it drops into an isolated guitar riff. And that's just, straight out of the playbook. And to emphasize this, the lead singer, as he sings, "What if I left you?" He then discards his turquoise Fender. I put in brackets, Andy inserts guitar model here. Um,
Stratocaster.
there you go. The camera quickly pans over the fallen soldier as the singer bends down to knob twiddle. Um,
Mhm.
and the beat picks up, and the lead guitarist has another attack of the guts. Bravely he continues, even though his spasms um, unleash his man bun, and his hair flaps like a pensioner's wattle in the breeze. Um, Great stuff. The energy quota here really indicates we're coming to a climax, and the singer's really going for it vocally as well. And it's interesting. I never really noticed this before, but when he was singing like the verse parts, his voice is slightly lower in his register, and the effect takes over more. There's slightly more sort of, I want to call it distortion, but there's more effect to his vocals. And when he goes for it and he's slightly higher in it, it's just a touch clearer. It doesn't have so the effect doesn't take the filter doesn't take so much
Yeah.
away from it or add to it or whatever you want to call it. It's just a distinction in the when he's singing that I hadn't noticed before. But it's interesting. He's on his knees. He gives a final twiddle, and then he lays down his microphone. I guess he travels light. He's not the sort of person that you would say to hold my beer because you'd never see it again. You just hear a smash, bang, he just drops stuff. So then it finishes with a nice sort of buzz and distortion. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I will say that it's nothing particularly new in terms of sound,
Yes.
but it is a sound that I enjoy. And as I think I said in the reaction, I will add it to the other sounds like this that I enjoy as one that I have enjoyed. And I got the feeling it was a new band as well, and I look forward to hearing how they develop because they're off to a good start.
Yeah, I would agree. I would absolutely agree with everything you said. Awesome sounding band. I fucking loved that Jazzmaster guitar, which is the model of the yellowish, mustardy other Fender. The man with the bubble guts was playing it. So yeah, that thing sounded and looked also not as nearly as important, but sounded fucking really great. I just loved that thing so much. And yeah, I loved what he did with his voice. I thought that I would say that 98% of the time out of 100, like 98 out of 100 times, I'm not going to like auto-tune. But the way that it was just slight in this, that you had to really search to hear it, kind of made the vocal delivery, and because he was judicious about the use of it just in this one sort of part, made it palatable for me and I never thought I'd ever say that about auto-tune because I'm much like you just the word alone is enough to make me go, ugh. But I don't know. They used it in a very judicious way here. Sounded very good. Yes, they have shades of the Strokes to them, but I mean, look, if you're gonna play indie rock after 2005, you're gonna fucking sound like I'm sure you're gonna sound like the Strokes, especially as an American band. That's got to be one of the top 5 bands that influenced you to play this style of music. And to be fair, while it was popularized by Casablancas. The idea of putting an effect on your voice is nothing that fucking was new in 2001, and it's not new now. So, but yeah, your point is expertly made, and and correct. They do have shades of the Strokes to them, but when the Strokes are as good as they are, it's not really that bad.
Well, again, it's an easy reference because the Strokes sound like as well. It's just that's the first stopping point. We can go backwards and backwards, and
exactly.
And we'll end up at Chuck Berry at some point. I know.
Yeah,
but
yeah, you are 100% correct. And to be fair, they sound exactly like a garage band, a good garage band, and that's what they're going for, and that's what they sound like. There's no they're not pretentious in any way about it. They're doing as it's you and your countrymen say. They do exactly what they say on the tin. It does exactly that. So.
I did forget to say that in terms of video, I let it slide a little bit, but that stuff where they're on the table with all the dead soldiers, drinks wise, and that tree with a very light, it just looked odd with him standing there and the others just sitting down. It just looked really weird. Like someone had a really good idea. This will look great. And you could tell that they're not buying it. They're kind of sitting there, but at the end, is this great? I'm not sure.
They're probably like, weird. This is what we always do. Let's incorporate it. It's like, yeah, dude, but you're not walking around petting your dog singing while we're doing it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the part.
I think that you should have just stuck to being in the garage and it'd have been fine. I understand why you want to cut other stuff in to give, dynamic drive to the video, but fuck off. Anyway, sorry.
No, fine. As you can imagine, there's not a whole lot out there on the band because of how new they are, but I will get into what information I could collate. The Jump Cuts are a band from West Palm Beach, Florida. They're known for their infectious rhythms, punchy guitar riffs, and spirited vocals. They create music that's both raw and polished, blending a modern edge with nostalgic charm. And their sound has been described as a blend of rock, surf, and with indie influences. Also, garage rock, obviously. The band is made up of Max Montana-itis on vocals and guitar, Bronto Montano on bass, Clayton Landry on drums, and Corey Heller on guitar. And they describe themselves as just Four friends from high school running it back for a good time, deleting beers and blasting cigs in Max's garage.
Okay, I will say, was the Jesus Christ, the names, but I will say that guy had a guitar player. So,
Uh, their sound has been influenced by, and brace yourself here, John, The Strokes, Block Party, Television, and
yeah.
Waves. More on them in the not so distant future. Um, in November of 2024, the band recorded their debut record, "What a Fun Way to Kill Some Time," at Shade Tree Studios in Boynton Beach, Florida. Those recordings were then sent off for mixing at Headroom Studios in Philadelphia before continuing north to New York City for mastering. Montana would say this of the writing process: I wrote this album in the aftermath of a long relationship. I was doing a lot of traveling, trying to rediscover who I was before it all fell apart, or something like that. Going through heartbreak brought on a wild relationship with alcohol and anxiety, but on the other side brought a sense of mindfulness and happiness to be here for it all. Roller coasters are only fun because they have a dive, which is actually quite true. The Jump Cuts debut album, the aforementioned "What a Fun Way to Kill Some Time," released on March 1st of 2025. So it is a very, very new album, and it is their only work that has been released. So this is one of the tracks on the album. There are a couple other really good ones as well. But I look forward to hearing more from these guys as they continue to grow and write and kind of evolve. But let's
Mm.
jump into these lyrics, which I think you can probably, listening to the backstory of what inspired the album, extrapolate kind of some of the meaning behind this. This definitely sounds like a relationship at some sort of impasse, or a sort of a
Mm.
retrospective look back on a relationship that is now dissolved. But here we are. It's been 2 long years since I've come to see you now. You're telling me you got to make it up. Shame on you for never coming back. Could it be that I don't want to be a part of it? Could you see that it's not my speed? I grew out of it. My boy, where have you been? I can tell by your teeth you're clenching. Those nightmares still happen. I'll start running every day, like when you ask me for an inch and then I take a mile. Would you stick around if I smiled? Could it be that me and you both got bored of it? Could you see that I lost myself trying to fix it? My boy, where have you been? I can tell by your teeth you're clenching. Those nightmares still happen. I can't afford you. I don't want you. I don't think I need you. You're selling me a dream. What if I left you? What would you do? You don't care. You just move on like I was never there. Oh, keep me around. Don't you love to hear me sing? Those songs about you and your crazy hair that I can't keep my fingers out of? What if I left you? Oh, baby, I don't do anything to break your cool. And those are the lyrics. So yeah, definitely sounds like a relationship that had worn out its welcome. Two people had gone two different paths there in the long run. So
Hmm.
yeah, man. Thanks for giving this a listen. Your experience listening to this was a lot like mine. I heard in it things that I've heard before. I heard a new take on things that I've heard before, and I heard a whole lot of potential. So I hope
Mm.
these guys continue to keep chipping away at it,
Yeah.
doing their thing. They've got a cool sound, a cool look, and I hope to hear more from the Jump Cuts down the line. And if I do, I will bring it back to the channel. But hopefully, you guys out there in the listening audience kind of enjoyed it to the same level, if not more, that John and I did. Love to hear your feedback. Please drop it down in the comments field below. If there's other artists or tracks that we should check out, please also feel free to offer those up in the same comments field. And one last thing, please like, share, and or subscribe. We really do appreciate it. It goes a long way. And if you really dig what we're doing here, feel free to hit that bell icon down there, and you will be notified every time we drop a new episode. But spoiler alert, it is every day, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Is that correct? Eastern Standard Time, my time. I think it's typically 12 noon your time over there in your part of the
Yeah.
world. So there you guys have it. Hopefully, John and I will see all y'all in growing numbers on the next installment of the Audiophiles. We'll see you later, guys.